I still have Wanda's Cunty vision in my head. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. We are back after the riveting coronavirus special. It got our last video flagged, so.
Did it?
Well, like,
oh,
because I wrote coronavirus. And it was
we don't make money on the YouTube yet, so it's really not a problem, but that's an issue.
There was like an alert. It's like, if you have issues. And, yeah, so. Okay, well, we're finally back and also into it after 300 episodes, 314.
It feels like forever.
So we got to Snatch Game.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the Snatch Game? Historically, Snatch Game is not your favorite?
No, I like Snatch Game.
Oh, you like Snatch Game. Okay.
I don't like it. Okay. The things I don't like are the things that make me feel secondhand embarrassment. I don't like the, acting challenges for the most part, and I don't like it if they have to sing and any of them are bad singers, and I really, really am not going to like next week where they have to, tell who they think should go home.
So I'm watching Season 5 right now. Also, on that note, if you would like to patronize us, we have a patron, and we desperately need money.
Yeah. Patreon.com/So I'm Watching This Show.
I go off book and throw to you. We're considering watching the backlog and
at least some.
Yeah, and doing it on a combination of YouTube and Patreon, one or the other, or something like that.
So let us know.
Let us know if you would like to venture down that rabbit hole with us.
Yeah. But I will say, in general, I do like Snatch Game because a lot of the times, more than half the queens have at least a direction that they're going in. The problem is when they pick someone, didn't we watch somebody pick RuPaul?
Well,
you showed me.
I showed you a compilation. It's Trixie.
Trixie does RuPaul.
And Ru was not amused.
Yeah.
RuPaul has
that's the thing.
RuPaul has a vibe. Mm-hmm. She has it. It's
like a magnanimous god that will also smite you at a moment's notice.
Well, she runs her show with an iron fist, as is her
want,
her right to do so. She's built an empire.
Yeah.
But yeah, and part of it, I think she gets off on scaring them.
Of course.
And it's very fun. And also, Ru has a very specific sense of humor, and the things that kill her fucking kill her.
That's true. That's definitely true. And so that's the
thing.
It's
not always consistent. It's not always what you would think.
I think it's definitely not consistent, which is weird to me. I think it should be more consistent than it is. And so that's the thing that, where there's certain people on Snatch Game where it's on another season or another day, or if Ru hadn't made that one comment, I might have thought that Tina Burner's Richard Simmons was really funny. But she made that one comment to Tina in the behind the scenes thing where she was like, "Oh well, we didn't remember your Jennifer Coolidge," and I'm just
I would have rather seen Jennifer Coolidge.
Well, the Jennifer Coolidge wasn't very good either.
Okay, well, Cork and Tina Burner.
Okay,
I thought it was a taboo to do men in Snatch Game.
Oh,
so I started saying this earlier, and I'll finish it now.
In this one.
Three.
Jonathan Dennis.
Well, I'll finish it now. But in season 5, the musical, they make them sing live. Yeah. So in season 7, I do not remember what her name was, but one of the queens is Richard Simmons, and at first they were there. Which again, I mean,
yeah.
And they were very offended at first, but she ended up being very good as Richard Simmons.
That's the thing is Tina didn't do anything with it. Also, I think Jonathan is non-binary now.
True.
So that is one thing that we should address. But I just Tina didn't do anything with Richard Simmons, to which I'm there's so much there.
Okay. They addressed it in this episode. It's been a thrum of the season, but Tina is apparently a big deal in New York. And Tina is also apparently in her head in this competition. I mean, is mediocre drag popular in New York? She's at least consistent in that everything's ugly.
Here's the thing about New York drag is I feel like there's so much of it.
I was like, are you going to school me on New York drag?
No. I just feel like New York has to be one of the larger markets for drag. And so in which case, I think Tina could still make a successful living doing mediocre drag because it's such a large market. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I agree with you, though. All of the things that she wears are hideous.
So Tina is obviously good and has a legacy. She's a comedy queen and she's consistent and she does a thing.
But
that
is she
just
funny?
Isn't translating 100% in the season.
Hopefully that's it, because I don't think she's very funny if she's a comedy queen.
Well, because this brown look, the like best in show fascinator, it was just like an ugly brown suit. And it's like, and there are ways to do brown and make it stunning.
Well, there's also ways to do like a riding thing. Like you could have been wearing jodhpurs and just put the horse on your head still. That's still funny.
It's just one shade of ill-fitting, cheap-looking brown fabric.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in Outlander, she wears a stunning brown dress. So it's like, there are ways to do stuff, but... And then just, I know this is a pet peeve of mine, but just the flowers were so fake and tacky looking and ugly, and it just, I don't know. I felt about that like they all apparently did about the chicken feathers on Joey J in the beginning.
Because that's the other thing, too, is, like, I liked the idea of the flowers, like a winner's, like a horse...
It was just ugly.
Race winners thing, but it just, it didn't work for me at all.
Candy Muse, I liked Candy's runway a lot. It was different. It was not...
Houndstooth?
Yeah, it was like... And it was a silhouette, even though it wasn't like a cinched silhouette.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bra top and high-waisted.
it was, though, stretching the bounds of the word fascinator. To me.
Well, no, it's... Oh, fuck. I can't think of her name. I was about to impress all of you with my knowledge. There was a woman, she was friends with Alexander McQueen.
Oh, okay.
And she actually died, like, I think right before he died. Clara Bow?
No, that's a really old actress.
Clara Blow.
That might be a drag queen.
Well, anyway, she did that. She wore fascinators with...
words and stuff? Okay.
And so that's what it was giving me.
That's fair.
But,
that's fair.
Well, there was... and to go into Olivia, there was, like, whose runway was gorgeous.
Yeah,
and
it was good.
Not what she or any of the other queens have been doing for that matter. Because I feel like Olivia's a little bit, like, copy-paste.
Do you know what it felt like to me, actually, is Yzma in... one of the ones where they go down in the lab coats when they pull the lever and they arrive at the bottom in the lab coats. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of.
It was way more fashion.
Of course, it was more fashion, but that's what it reminded me of.
But yeah, so Olivia Lux was Tabitha Brown in Snatch Game, which if she were good, it would have been good. And I thought it was a good choice, but Rue was like, well, she's not famous. And yet Candy Muse was Patrick Starr, and I was like, Tabitha Brown is as famous as Patrick Starr, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And furthermore, I guess I know who Patrick Starr is, but I don't know a lot about him. So
He's like a YouTuber.
He's a makeup person.
Makeup person, yeah.
He's a legit makeup, like a celebrity makeup artist.
But here's the thing: is that Candy was just being Candy. To which I'm like, bitch, we see that every week. Mm-hmm. We don't need more Candy. You needed to do something. Mm-hmm. Because Patrick Starr is like wasn't it Jeffree Star? Well,
yes, but that's a different bag of worms.
But still Star is like...
They're not related.
No, of course. But I was like, that's a thing. They're both a thing, right? Okay. So that's the thing where I'm like, I don't know anything about Patrick Starr's personality in a way that I have seen the Tabitha videos on Facebook and stuff. And so I'm just like... If anything, Tabitha was like a more interesting idea.
And she didn't even have her cadence, which is
it's a thing.
It's a cadence that is doable.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing that kills me with moving on to Utica. Utica's Bob Ross, a very interesting idea. Mm-hmm. And I agree with the sort of like putting it under a microscope. I can't think of the term I want, but the wig made out of squirrels.
Okay, hilarious in my opinion. Super hilarious because I've watched a lot of Bob Ross videos and
Are you sure?
Yes.
I've literally never, okay.
He has a little squirrel buddy in a couple of them. Yes.
Okay.
He like rescued a baby squirrel and like raised it. So there's a little squirrel in his thing. So I think the wig made out of squirrels is hilarious. But then the actual Bob Ross was like not really correct.
Hi there, RuPaul. I'm Bob Ross, and welcome to the joy of Snatch Game.
Well, I don't know what the voice was.
Yeah.
Like, Bob Ross has this, like, dulcet, like...
He's a little Southern. He's like a little, like...
Sure, but it's...
Appalachian.
It's very gentle in a way that, like... Speaking of Apple, Utica was doing sort of, like, a deliverance thing.
Well, and then Utica was like, and then I eat paint. I was like, ugh.
It was a choice. I have more to say about Utica. Should we go there now?
Sure,
or...
yeah.
So...
Drama?
Roller coaster for me.
Okay.
So there was drama about Utica on Untucked. And the unfortunate thing for us, the audience, is I think two crucial elements apparently were not captured on film.
Sure. Yeah.
Olivia was very offended because she overheard Utica and Denali talking. And Denali said, "Who do you think is in trouble?" And Utica said... That
was on film?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And Utica said, "I think that Olivia might be in trouble."
Yeah.
And Olivia got very mad because apparently after the thing, Utica was like, "Oh, you did good." I need to see that footage in order to have a strong opinion on it.
Sure.
Because this goes back into the thing that we've talked about several times in our coverage already, where pleasantries are not two-facedness.
But also pleasantries are not admissible in a court of judgment.
And furthermore, Olivia was very offended. And what Utica said was that Olivia might be in trouble.
Yeah, not
Utica
like you
did not say
shitty.
Olivia was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. Honey, you were my favorite." That's the way they were treating it.
Yeah.
And it was really, I guess it's one of the things that they're doing. I guess this is where the reality show jumps out. Because otherwise that was it. She's reaching, Your Honor.
And I think especially this season, the reality is jumping out because it's like...
Reality TV.
I think there's not enough actual drama because I think they're a lot more tight-knit than they usually are. And so I think there's not enough drama. And so I think they're really like pumping up the music like behind the like, I can't believe you said that about
Well,
me
because
kind of
furthermore,
stuff.
like 2 or 3 episodes ago, they were sort of pushing Utica to like be meaner or like read shade, do it, blah, blah, blah. And
so the second thing.
I identified so much with Utica in that moment. For starters, she was shook.
Yeah.
Like terrified.
And she sincerely apologized.
I identified with Utica because I got in trouble many times in high school. And it was always, apparently I got accused of being two-faced or being like causing drama, starting drama, whatever. And it came out of a place of peacekeeping. I wanted to mediate and keep the peace. And so when I was able to identify that two people were having an issue and I felt like I knew what the problem was, I would try to fix it myself.
Sure.
And what ended up happening was they could then talk to each other and be like, "Well, Will said you said this."
Yeah.
And I was like, oof, that's not what I was attempting to do.
Right.
I was trying to help the situation. And so I think Utica is a little bit of an awkward, like an ugly duckling thing. Yeah. And I think Utica's a little bit trying to be, yes, queen, pussy hat, slay. And sometimes it comes off abrasive, in which case, be yourself. Just be yourself. Because the second incident was apparently, and this actually sounded shady as fuck, but it was after filming, they were like at dinner and Utica just like pulled out her notebook to like read them all.
From the like reading them for filth.
Reading is fundamental. Yeah. And be like, here's the things I was going to say about you. Anyways.
Because Rosé was like, it was terrible. We were all tired and we were trying to eat dinner and she just like had this list. And we both were like, ooh, been there.
You're too tall and you can't dance and I don't like the pleats in your pants. That's Lynn Coplitz. Yeah. So I like where we ended up with it.
I really appreciated that she was like, "I'm sorry." Like she's very sincerely was like, "I'm sorry."
Because I'm sort of like, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. Because I am naive and fall for it sometimes. But I was gonna be like, I feel like she doesn't have a mean bone in her body.
It does feel that way. It does feel that way.
And if she is, it's because she's trying to. Like,
yeah,
That's the impression I get.
I think the biggest part of it is that I think you said ugly duckling, and that feels correct, where I think she's just awkward, and I think she doesn't know how to act.
And it's like, I don't think she's going to be winning this competition,
No.
but I think she is going to have a very long and robust career.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
For sure.
she's doing you're doing amazing, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Because her runway, it's so cool, so
the
creative.
picnic, very good.
And then on top of that, pretty.
Yeah.
She's doing so many ugly things, but making them aesthetically appealing.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is a place where sometimes Rosé struggles.
I love Rosé so much. I swear.
Is so hot.
So hot. Well, but also Rosé is one of my favorite queens as a queen. I am like here for it. And the way she can sing, the way she can act, and the way she can do all of these things. And the Mary Queen of Scots Snatch Game was hilarious.
That's so everything she's okay. Go ahead.
But the ruffles, girl, the ruffles. You gotta stop with the ruffles.
Michelle Visage was so funny. In full sincerity, being like, well, she describes herself as a fashion clown, and all I'm getting is clown. And Michelle was just like, that's not a read. That's not shade.
No, it's not, but it's just like, I understand that.
Because he's bigger, he's taller, he's a bit more
broad-shouldered. Yeah. He is a Dorito, for sure. And so I get the impulse.
But it also is not, it's just making you look like a big tube sock.
Well, so Michelle did say that the like silhouette of tonight's was good, which I agree with.
What saved it?
The one shoulder.
The belt, and the gloves.
Yeah.
The studded belt and gloves was so good.
For sure. But it's also
and the pun about the prick underneath the dress.
Sure, very funny.
It was a very verifiable pun.
The other thing too, though, is I feel like Rosé has this tendency to do like one solid color. And I really think like an ombre or like a darker in the middle could really do wonders. And it's
very construction paper.
Yeah, I'm very frustrated by the like sameness of all of Rosé's runway looks, where I just feel like there's gotta be something else, or like lean into the Scottish and do more tartan or something.
So, well, she did.
Once.
Yeah. The Mary Queen of the Scots was, first of all, it was just good because they nailed it, because it was a solid concept. Yeah. It has not been overdone. No. And she did bring it into modern reality.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, Queen, how's your head?
Lots of complaints, but I can't remember most of it. You know what they say, go underground for a few years, you're probably going to lose. We've not that great, no starting it.
But there was also a safety net built into it, was that if she weren't particularly good at it or weren't particularly clever, you can just sort of say Scottish nonsense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that in and of itself is funny and has
merit.
Returns.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of diminishing?
Appreciating.
Yeah. It's not one note. It doesn't get tired. I mean, it eventually
it will get tired, but within the confines of one game of Snatch Game, it won't get tired in one round of Snatch Game. So I wouldn't worry about that. But it was really funny. Just like the accent was.
I'll see if I can find.
So good at the accent.
And Denali, very good. Yep. Denali and Rosé are finally getting their attention. Finally. Which now's the time to get it, girls. Mm-hmm. Apparently somebody left a comment, because like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, why is everybody so butthurt about being safe?
Yeah, it's because they don't get comments.
No, but somebody left a comment where it was like, in one of the seasons, Ru was like,
oh, if you're
hard
safe.
on them, where it was like, don't do that. So that could explain some of it.
Sure.
But Denali's Jonathan Van Ness.
Very funny.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Gorgeous seashell flower monkey, honey bunches of love. It is so good to be here, honey.
Excellent.
It's really good, and the little beard,
the fake beard,
and the hair and everything was really, it was spot on.
And her waitress, I completely agree with Michelle. It was, because we've talked about this once or twice, but you're always thrown when Michelle was like, "It's just costumey," and you were like, "Is that not the name of the game?"
This is kabuki theater. What are you talking about?
And I was like, there's a high fashion element. And
I understand, but I think, you can't, I feel like you can't give that note to Denali and not give the same note to Tina Burner in this challenge. Do you know what I mean? Is that not costumey? She has a fucking horse on her head. At least Denali is wearing a dress.
Yeah.
You know?
At least Denali's looks like, professional theater and not high school.
Like you could buy it in a store. That's the thing that frustrates me is I feel like there's not the same rules for everybody.
So that brings us to Simone.
Yeah.
What did you were blown away by?
Well, her runway look was really good because it was really, really, really good even before she turned around.
That's where it's good because you didn't know something was coming. So it was stunning.
Beautiful, head to toe white and an amazing fascinator.
And the wig, the short wig, which is tricky.
It is tricky, but she's really good at it. She's not worn a wig. With the do-rag, she didn't wear a wig when she did the do-rag train. And then she turned around and it was like bullet wounds in the back. I mean, it was amazing.
It was literally breathtaking.
Yeah, it was
we
very
kind of
good.
gasped.
Yeah, and then she had her hands up and everything.
Because it can also
impressive.
be, obviously these things are good and obviously these things need to be done and need to be talked about. And the Fascinator said, say our names, I think.
Yeah. Say the names, I think.
But it's also, it's hard to do in a way that feels like not a stunt.
And it didn't.
It did not feel stunty.
Which I think makes it more impactful when it doesn't feel like a stunt as opposed to somebody, she didn't say anything about it behind the scenes or anything in the,
It didn't feel like an after school special.
No. And so it's just I think if it were somebody different than Simone, they would have been bragging it up while they were putting their faces on and everything, and she just literally like turned around and you see, and it was like, it was beautifully done too, because it was like
Bejeweled.
It almost looked like hand sewn sequins and jewels on the back, and I was very impressed with it. And her Harriet Tubman was pretty funny.
That was a bold swing,
very, very bold.
and I mean, I don't know that it was a home run, but she got
maybe not a home run,
Yeah.
maybe like a I don't know. She made it to third.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was funny.
I think the place where she nailed it was like at the very beginning when Rue was like Harriet Tubman, and she was like underneath the table, and she was like, "You hear your name, you just gotta hide sometimes." Very, very funny.
And which does bring us to our winner.
Yeah.
The winner of the week, Gottmik.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Gottmik's been a real contender this whole time, but especially now, I'm like, she might take this.
Oh shit.
Okay, so I called this in like episode 3. I was like, Gottmik is channeling Paris Hilton, and I found out that he's done Paris's makeup, and it's a very specific
like era of her makeup. Yeah.
Well, not era, but it's like a look that when I saw the picture, I was like, I know that photo shoot. I've seen it.
Okay,
because it looks like Gottmik's makeup.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
I'll pull it. The reason why the Paris was so good is because it was an actual impression of her. And it reminds me of something that Kate McKinnon said back when she was brand new on SNL. One of her first recurring characters was Anne Romney. And it was really popular. And she was doing an interview and they were like, what's your secret to characters like Anne Romney? And she was like, too many people get caught up in their agenda or their take on something. And she goes, the reality is Anne Romney's a likable woman. And so she was like, so I just did, my version of her. It's
why I think, to go on a slight tangent, it's why Kate is so good at so many impressions, why she's so good at Anne Romney or Ellen or, Jeff Sessions or Justin Bieber.
Or even just someone like Hillary Clinton, because Hillary is hard to impersonate.
Yeah.
So the key is you have to do a take.
Yeah, she's not hard to do a take
version.
On. Yeah.
And Gottmik so completely nailed real Paris. Like anyone who's an actual fan or has even,
has heard the difference in the voice.
Because that opening bit, from that moment on, I was like, gold.
Hey, Rue, how's it going? Just let me know when the cameras are rolling and we'll kill it.
Well, we've started. The cameras are rolling.
Oh shit, that's so embarrassing. Sorry.
Because she was like, just let me know when we're starting. Because Paris has a shockingly throaty voice. It's like deep and stuff. And Rue was like, we're already on. And just the, oh shit.
Oh shit. That's so embarrassing.
No, you were so right with the head tilt.
Yeah, she was that's the thing is like everything about her. She also had a little stuffed tiny dog, and then it's just like she sort of was just like the bones in her shoulders and her neck were like gone, and the whole time it was very very good and funny.
She just looked like it was truly good because Paris is one of those things that people have. It's what we've talked about a lot with, like, especially earlier in her career, Britney Spears, where, like, for a good 5 years, anytime, like, a person did an impression of Britney Spears, it was, like, a dumb slut. And I was
which
like,
is not...
That's not what she's like.
It's
like,
also not funny anymore.
It's...
like, it stopped being funny so long ago, where it's like, you can't just use that as the basis. Paris Hilton is so many more shades than...
Well, they
slut.
said it was sort of, like... the dumb blonde, but also the entrepreneur, and stuff. So I don't know. It was excellent.
Super good.
That look at the end, the fucking safety pin, through her head was so good.
Especially with the drop of blood,
the Swarovski blood.
It was very funny.
Oh God.
I will say my only criticism is that is a face that we've seen on Gottmik like 3 times previous already. So as a runway look, that kind of took away from it for me, where it's like, I've seen that face on you now. It was the face you introduced us with.
It's a delicate balance between being one note and being your shtick.
Sure. Yeah, but okay, that's the other thing is like with Crystal Method last year, they were like, you're doing this same thing too much.
That was also ugly.
Well... I mean, I know she's like very successful now, but like ditto Trixie Mattel, the like moth eyes is like, it's a thing.
Well, we'll watch season 7. Trixie's hit a stride.
Oh, okay.
It is full on clown makeup in season
for a minute.
Season
okay.
7.
All right.
It is full blown.
I'm just saying. I don't.
She's also tan. It's like
it go. That's the kind of thing that goes both ways for me because I'm like you're criticizing certain queens for like the same behavior that you're not criticizing other queens.
Some people can pull it off. And so I think for you, it's like I think it's just that it's that white face isn't necessarily.
It's not my aesthetic
style,
for sure. Yeah,
you know, but yeah. So
I mean, it works for Gottmik, but it's
So this was a good episode. Maybe I was just starved because we didn't get any like content. We didn't talk about Elliot.
Oh, we didn't talk about Elliot. R.I.P. Elliot.
One division. Pussy dimension.